Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I've got my good friend Judge Moore coming as well. He'll be with us in just a sec. Before we get into that, though, I want you all to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell. What I also am going to do, actually, is put Footy Judge Moore's channel in the description to this because he's an absolute legend. So I want you to go on over and subscribe to his channel as well. Let me hit save there. I appear on there quite a lot. A bit of an emergency stream, just because it's just been announced that the Premier League clubs, as many as 17, look like they may be voting to bring in what is called a luxury tax. This is a method that is used in the NBA, in the NHL, in the NFL, I believe. Some Americans in the chat may be able to correct me. I know I've got quite a few American viewers. But the overwhelming view is that PSR isn't working, profit and sustainability. They want to get rid of it. They want to abolish it. This is something that I've spoken about with Mo before. He's a Premier League fan. Yeah, 28k, big up. Mo helped me get that, actually, the other day. I've done a little bit of research myself as well, and I just wanted to have a chat with someone about it, just to get what the general consensus is. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? So, yeah, we're going to chat about that. Basically, before I bring Mo in, just to give people the lowdown, it goes like this, okay? So Premier League clubs are indeed contemplating significant changes to their rules, okay? The current system of points deduction for financial breaches, as we've seen with Everton and Nottingham Forest, and probably are likely to see with Leicester, for example, has raised concerns. These hefty penalties, coupled with a cautious January window where clubs refrain from overspending, have led many officials to question the effectiveness of the league's profit and sustainability rules. The fear is that the current PSR framework may jeopardise the Premier League's position as the world's best league by limiting their ability to attract top players with competitive salaries, which I do call cap on, by the way, because I've seen a tweet, I think it was by Miguel Delaney, who said the Premier League already spends $2 billion more than the rest of the league. So this is hardly going to bring that closer, even if we are getting stung by profit and sustainability. It's just a way for them to come away from points deductions, in my opinion. But radical reform is on the table, and as many as 17 out of the 20 clubs are leaning toward this change. To implement a rule change, at least 14 clubs need to be in agreement. Looks like they've got well more than they need. Some argue that the 6-point penalty imposed on Everton and the 4 points on Forest are draconian and are not in line with the original purpose of PSR. One intriguing proposal is the introduction of what is called a luxury tax, okay? It already exists in America's Major League Baseball and in the NBA as well, okay? And this is how it works, which on the face of it, I don't mind the sound of, and we'll get Moore's thoughts on it as well. So, clubs that overspend would face a financial penalty, which would increase as they continue to splash the cash. So, in other words, if you spend more than what you need to, if you're happy to pay the fine, then you can continue spending, yeah? So basically, voluntary choice. So clubs can choose to press on with overspending regardless. If they want to spend, it just means they will have to pay this tax, okay? Now, what happens with that tax? So basically, the money's then collected from the tax, potentially amounting to like tens of millions, and that would then be redistributed to Premier League clubs that complied with the rules. So say, for example, last season, Everton, Forest and Leicester, they overspend. That money then could be given to Leeds United, who stayed within the rules. I don't know how that would work and how much you would get, but that's basically what's currently happening with the luxury tax. And then you also have an emergency fund as well. So some of the fines can then contribute to an emergency fund to assist EFL clubs. So we wouldn't have like a Bury going out of like they cease to exist now, right? Because that money there would then go on over and we'd be able to say, right, you can use this Premier League tax. So that's how it works in principle, which sounds quite interesting to me. It's quite intriguing. Christopher K says, I watch Mo on Football Terrace. Big love. Mo is a top guy. From us, Gunnar says, same as NBA, some owners are willing to pay the luxury tax to keep their rosters strong and keep the best players. And that's where, obviously, if you're a Chelsea, if you're a Newcastle, that are struggling now, right, because of FFP, they can then just go, well, we've got enough cash, so we'll just continue to pay the fine. Mo, what are your thoughts on this? I know you've just woke up. I know you're a busy guy and you're hearing it maybe for the first time. But we've chatted about PSR before. Do you think this is a good thing?
Absolute rubbish,
You
atrocious,
do?
terrible, absolutely. Just simple thing. I actually don't like FFP, but I like always level playing field.
Yeah.
This is definitely gonna make someone like Newcastle. This is gonna make the richer
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
better teams. What on earth are they thinking? What is this?
Yeah.
This is absolutely terrible. Just to make it very simple, people, for you. I know Joe tried to explain it very, very well. I was listening to him in the background. If Man City has a budget of 100 million or 100 billion, let's say Manchester City have a budget of 100 billion. Manchester City can literally do this. Can go buy all the players and just pay the luxury tax.
Yeah, exactly.
Until someone like Manchester United, and by the way, make no mistake, there is a difference between the companies and the corporates that own Manchester United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, and states. I'm Arab, I'm the Emiratis guys, the whatever, the Qataris guys, the Saudi guys. However, I don't want to see Newcastle and Manchester City being able to spend, for example, 200 million in Mbappe, for example, plus have Haaland, plus have all the good players around the world, and say, I'm going to pay the tax.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can afford like me, do it. It's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, it's
Imagine
wild,
a club that is, it's wild, bro. Imagine a club, the budget. Imagine there's a club, their budget is just 50 million for wages. Manchester City's budget is 400. Imagine that increases to 800 million for Manchester City because they can afford it.
I know.
Whoever thought about this? However, I'm just gonna say this.
Do you think, bro, a lot of it is to do with the fact that we have quite a lot of American owners now in the Premier League, and they're maybe putting this forward because it works over in America?
Yeah. However, in my opinion, there is something in America. It's the salary cap and all this stuff. You can pay more. This is abysmal. This is gonna definitely change. I'm telling you, this is gonna destroy the Premier League.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna destroy.
It just makes the top six
it's
even
just gonna
bigger, right?
No, they aren't comparable. Manchester United aren't comparable to Manchester City. Manchester City are owned by Emiratis. Manchester City are owned by a very, very rich people.
Same as Newcastle, right?
Yes, of course. Newcastle even richer than them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you like ideas, okay? I'm gonna, for the people in the chat, I don't know how many, but you guys have to like and subscribe.
184.
Guys, we need at least 150 likes. This is at least 150 likes. I'm gonna give you some numbers over the years, right? When South Africa presented their, if I'm not mistaken, I'm giving you like not exact numbers, but around. South Africa presented their file to host World Cup 2010. Their budget was 6 billion. Sorry, 8 billion. When Germany provided their in 2006, it was 6 billion. Brazil 2016, they were 8 billion. 2022 Qatar, they said we are willing to spend up to 50 billion to get the World Cup. You see the difference between the money they have. So imagine someone like the Saudis say, you know what, we're just going to spend all the money, we'll get all the stars because we can afford to pay you all the wages because we just can't pay the luxury tax.
Yeah.
And Man United and Arsenal won't be able to compete, by the way. Anyone, because at the end, people think it's owned by individuals. It's owned by individuals that have companies. There is audit, there is stuff. Like the Cronkies or whatever, they can't just go splash all that. They don't have that much money. Just Google how much money the Cronkies are worth and how much money Emirates have. Like, it's completely different.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. And are you surprised then that there's as many as 17 clubs willing to sign off on this currently? Apparently, 17 clubs.
There is something that we don't know. There is something that we don't know. You know, there is something that they don't know. And just I just want to answer the
Segundo, is it?
Segundo.
Segundo? Yeah, yeah.
That's not my point. I know they didn't have
Yeah.
the infrastructure, but if you tell Germany, if you tell any country, you have to spend 50 billion, they're gonna tell you no. We don't
Yeah.
have the budget to that. I want to feed my people better.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's all about the outcome of the World Cup. Qatar didn't make that money back, but Qatar can afford that. That's
Yeah.
my point. Like these states can afford to spend the money without anybody saying, "Well, we need to make profit." Like the World Cup always makes profit, always
Mm.
for the countries.
Yeah.
But these
Like, this is the
countries,
mad thing, more. Like, I agree with what you're saying, by the way. Yeah, it's like, even if someone, say it was, like you mentioned, Brazil, 8 billion, even if someone was considering competing with Qatar, they'd probably say, right, 10 billion. And they go, nah, we've got 50, mate. So there's nothing you can do. Do you know what I mean?
yes.
But, like, I'm surprised, like everything you've just said. Like, obviously, it's first time I'm hearing it. I don't know nothing about no luxury tax, and maybe if there's some Americans in the chat, they can explain whether or not it's a good thing or not. But this is the first time I'm really going for it. But based on what Mo said, he makes a great argument. But like, I'm surprised that we've got 17 clubs potentially out of 20. And it makes you wonder who the 3 aren't. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the newly promoted sides, to be honest. But, like, the 17 teams that are willing to sign off on this, is it because at the minute they're getting points deductions or what? Like, why do you think, let's say, for example, a Nottingham Forest... Well, then again, Nottingham Forest owner says he wants to spend what he wants, so he's probably on board with it. But in the long run, it's just going to monopolise the Premier League. Like you've said, you've just got Newcastle and City, let's say, for example, who blow everyone out of the water, can buy everyone, like you've also mentioned, and say, well, say if they're competing with Arsenal for Declan Rice, yeah, let's say go back and it's the luxury tax, or even the Caicedo deal, Liverpool-Chelsea. A City can go, well, we'll just give them 20 million more because they're going to have to pay the luxury tax, whereas we can afford to anyway, so it doesn't really matter, so we'll just get the best players. You know what I mean? It's mad. I'm surprised.
I don't know. Unless, because to be honest, unless there's some details that we don't know about. There are some details that we don't know about. But as of now, how it looks absolutely abysmal. It looks very strange.
Yeah.
It looks very strange.
I've gone. Basically, there's some questions, right? So how could it, like, what are the potential effects of it, right? So there's a financial disincentive for overspending. So if you overspend, whatever the threshold will be, you'll get a financial penalty, right? Which naturally, for someone who needs to cut their purse strings, they go, okay, I don't want to have to pay that tax.
It's not a financial penalty. It's you pay extra tax. Let me just
right.
Yeah. So the people, if you pay 40, for example, if you only can afford to pay that much money, any penny that you pay more, you'll pay 50% taxes on it. For example, clubs cannot just pay that like clubs cannot overspend, and they pay taxes 20% on the revenue or whatever. Now, any penny you spend more, you'll have to spend 50%. The 100. For example, if you spend 100 million more than what you are allowed to spend, you pay 50 million on it to the government. Basically, the government will make money.
Yeah. So basically what he's saying as well, right? The more a club exceeds the limit, the higher the taxes that they'll have to pay, right? So in principle, it encourages clubs to be more cautious and strategic in their player acquisitions. But like we've said, in the Premier, you can't compare this to other places, I don't think, because you've got clubs that are actually run by states. It's not just one wealthy dude. It's clubs that are run by states. I don't know the what it's like in America. I understand their sports earn massive amounts of money, but I don't think like the LA Lakers are owned by a state, are they? Like, it's one person, right? Is that right? Or is it only like football that has this sort of ownership? Or am I wrong?
See, like the ownership. Can you say that again? I want to get the right answer.
Is it only the Premier League that has, like, say, state wealth ownership? You don't have, like, I don't know, say the LA Lakers are owned by the Saudi princes. It only seems to be
they're all
football,
they're all Americans and companies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Arabs went to buy in the in the Premier League. They wanted to buy in the Italian league,
Mm,
and they didn't want to invest that much money, so they invested in the Premier League.
mm,
Bro, no, this is in America. You still have teams bigger than other teams, but the gap isn't that much. Like it's
yeah.
not. I think people cannot comprehend how much money Saudis have.
Mm,
Like, you know what I mean? Like it is so much money that I don't think people realize how much money is like they can spend. If you allow them to spend, you just don't understand.
mm,
It might destroy everything that you know. Of course, there will be some regulations, but I don't like this. It's absolutely it's gonna imagine like Leeds going up and Ipswich Town going up,
yeah.
and they're trying to sign a player, and they might just have the players to stop Leeds and these other people from getting the right players.
Mm,
This is abysmal. This is atrocious. I don't know what I don't know like the smaller clubs are thinking. I know that some of them have a lot of money, like the Southampton owner have a lot of money. I know that Nottingham Forest have a lot of money, but I think
mm.
they don't realize how much money like
The others
this
have.
is. It's ridiculous. Like
Mm.
I think it's absolutely nuts, to
You
be
know what?
honest.
As well, according to the piece in the Mail Online and
Yes.
other bits as well, what they're saying is that while some clubs want the tax to remove the threat of a points deduction, Premier League insiders are adamant that any proposal would still include an element of sporting sanction. So you'll have to, they'll still want points deduction or something along those lines. Do you know what it feels like to me? Like even with the EFL stuff, because there's a situation at the minute with the Premier League and EFL and them coming together to help lower clubs. And because now we're getting a regulator and that, it's almost like the Premier League are going, oh, well, what can we do to keep regulators away? Let's create this fund, like the luxury fund that money goes into and we can help clubs that way. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it almost feels like the Premier League's just like, stay away, let us govern ourselves. Like, this is our money and
Yeah.
we're going to do whatever we can to,
So the
to,
money
to
will be
keep it.
paid to the Premier League, my understanding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Will
And
it
then
be
they'll.
paid to the Premier League or the government?
No, I think it would be paid. It goes into a fund, by all accounts, an emergency fund, and I don't know how it would be redistributed to other teams. Like, how does that work? Like, if I'm Leeds and last season Everton, Forest, Leicester all broke the rules, does that mean then we would receive some of that money? I don't know how
Yeah, this
that's
is.
supposed to
But
work.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the people that say Americanize the sport is bad and all this stuff.
No,
There
no.
there is a need for some regulations. To be
Yeah, yeah.
honest with you, there is a need. Like I was very vocal about I don't like FFP. I don't like this. I think what happened to Man City isn't great. I think what happened to Nottingham Forest isn't great, and all the stuff. However, I want to create something that is fair. I want the
Mm,
competition to be fair. Now the competition isn't like fair. Now, if you introduce this, the richer can just spend more. The
yeah,
richers. Can
yeah,
it's I don't know why they are doing this though. I think okay. Let me ask you something, Joe.
yeah.
Do you think they're trying to find a way to avoid point deduction for Man City and Chelsea?
You, mate, you don't know. This is the thing. It almost feels like they want to keep the regulators away as well, because obviously the government are starting to get involved, and
Yes.
that's extra eyes that they probably don't want. And it wouldn't surprise me, mate. They don't look how. Let's be real here, right? I know it's different. Like the city thing, it's more cooking the books and a little bit more cash under the table kind of vibe. Not just you've brought the rules, but how would they even police that? Let's say, right, they get found guilty of 115 charges. What kind of look is that for the Premier League? Are you going to then go, well, we're going to have to take your titles off you, like what happened with Juve and stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, how's that going to look more? Like, it's wild.
Okay, so there is. I don't like. We spoke about this many
Yeah,
times.
so yeah.
Basically, what Man City are accused of is lying and cheating.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not mismanagement.
No. No.
Chelsea, some of the charges are this, some of the accusations are this. Nottingham Forest or Everton didn't cheat. Nottingham Forest and Everton mismanaged.
Yeah, yeah.
So they broke the rules by mismanaging. You know what I mean? But you have to pay. Manchester City said, let me give you a simple example. Everton and Nottingham Forest broke a red light because they couldn't press the brakes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
have to pay the fine, right? Man City broke the red lights, right? And then the police came and arrested them, and they said, "We didn't. What is your evidence?" The Premier League is like, "Ooh, where are the cameras?" We're like, "We never did it." So they are lying. So they saying we didn't break the rules. You are lying, right? Everton and Nottingham Forest didn't lie. They said, "Okay, here are our
Yeah.
finances. We couldn't manage our club. We thought we'll make that much money, and we didn't. So we basically mismanaged the club." Manchester City said, "No, we managed the club very well. You're just lying, and we didn't pay anybody under the table. Our finances are A1." And the Premier League is saying, "No, you cook the book." So
Mm-hmm.
it's not only cheating for Manchester City, it's as well lying, right? Which is not, there's no compliance. They haven't like helped the Premier League. They aren't helping in the investigation. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Chelsea, the problem is transfers. You know what I mean? Like they actually got a player and they said we paid 20 million for this player, but actually the fee was 40 million, but the other 20 million was paid on a different account under the table. That's different as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's this. No, I feel like, and I said that many times on the Football Terrace and on my channel, and people literally told me that you're chatting shit. I said the Premier League don't want to kick Chelsea and Man City out.
Mm.
Man City and Chelsea bring a lot of money to the Premier League. Viewership, money. They have fans now. Man City have fans in America. Man City have affiliations with academies around the world. Man City have the Pep Guardiola. Everyone that thinks that the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, that the likes of Pep Guardiola aren't known around the world in Africa and in America, and they don't sell jerseys, and they don't bring viewership in Asia, you're just lying to yourself. Genuinely, you are. You're lying to yourself because you don't like Manchester City, right? Manchester City, I saw kids and I told them, I was praying in the mosque and I saw a dad with two kids that has Manchester
I've
City.
seen this.
One of them, I told you that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you did. Yeah.
That what does that mean? The brand is getting bigger. This is Man United in the 90s and 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. It started like this, Man United. Did you think the people think that Man United has all these millions from the 60s? No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
when you win, you are on TV all the time, you win trophies, right?
Bro,
You do
when
the
I was at
Netflix
school
thing.
more, there was one girl and her name was Amy Kerman and she was a season ticket holder with her dad at Manchester City. One girl in my whole school. Now, I can be walking around the northeast where I live now, where it's heavy Sunderland and Newcastle, and you see City shirts. Like, I
Yeah,
never seen them when I
they don't
was
want to, but they
young.
don't want to believe it, bro. Man
Yeah, yeah,
United
yeah, of
fans and
course.
Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans and Liverpool fans, they don't want to believe it.
Yeah,
They
of
keep
course.
saying it's not true. It is
Yeah,
true.
yeah, it's, yeah, yeah.
So,
100%.
so my point is, going back to my point is, I actually believe genuinely the Premier League, they don't want to kick Man City and Chelsea out. If Man City are found guilty, you have to kick them out,
Yeah,
right?
no, exactly, yeah. It's too many
The Premier
charges,
League,
right?
people think the Premier League won't lose money. They will. They will lose money.
Mm,
It's it's as simple as that. They will lose money.
100%.
It's I don't have any other explanation to you other
Mm,
than the Premier League at the end want the best money. They want they want the best income. They want the best viewership. Imagine kicking your best couple of your best fighters, and you have six good fighters. With all due respect to the Brightons, with all due respect to the Fulhams, with all due respect to everyone else, people open the TV in the morning in America to watch Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United,
yeah.
and these teams. Nobody opens the TV to watch Fulham. Only
No, I
me.
get it.
I watch only me,
Yeah.
myself. But
Just yeah, no, I hear you, bro. Just on Marcus, apparently it's going to be autumn of this year. We'll wait and see. But trust me, that'll be behind closed doors. That won't be nothing public. It'll be like, oh, it's been settled, and we'll all be like, what? Do you know what I mean? That something will go down which will upset. That comes up. No, Donna, no. That's Don Hussam. That's Don Hussam. Basically, there's a
Donna,
show.
it is very. I'm offended.
Yeah, to think that
I'm
you're
genuinely
Hussam.
offended.
No,
I'm offended, Donna.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
offended.
She says you have maybe you have a similar voice. That's all.
I don't.
No.
First of all, I have an American accent. I've been living here for 11 years. He
There you go.
doesn't.
Yeah. It's the R's, bro. Basically, there's a channel
Also, I'm
called
way better looking.
Yes, this
Completely.
is
That's
true.
that's a different story. I'm way better looking.
Nah, it's true. But basically, propaganda. Just to give some context, Hussam knows about this. There's a group, there's a podcast called Square Ball that listens to fans of other channels, and Hussam always makes an appearance on there because he's great, man. He's funny. That's all. It's like a funny. But she said sorry. There you go. Big up Donna, by the way. She's a top fan of the channel. Should I say fan? I don't know. She's always watching though. Big up. Yeah. Okay.
Supporter.
So, yeah, supporter. That's it. Fan sounded wrong as I was saying it. I was like, what? Fromis says, Mo, you do actually sound like Hussam a bit.
Nah.
You're not having it.
No, I'm not. I'm not buying
No worries.
this.
Brendan, I've got you hooked up, mate. I've got press conference reaction coming a little bit later on as well. The press conference is at 2:15 today.
I actually have a show with Hussam and Dan Potts right after this.
You do. Which I tell you what, I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna put a redirect on for you now, bro. Is it set up?
It's already done. Yeah. It's done yesterday. Do you think I set up before I go to bed?
I hear, mate. I hear.
The struggle is real. The struggle is real.
Mate, I'm with you, man.
You literally, by the way, you literally caught me. You texted me the second I woke up.
Yeah.
Very.
See,
lucky.
this is what I mean. I knew when was the perfect time, mate. Do you know? Like, I've obviously. Do you think this can help the lesser clubs at all? Because with the luxury tax, right? I'm just trying to put context. I agree with you, right? But do you, if clubs that overspend, let's say City overspend and they have to pay this tax, is that then gonna filter down to those at the bottom end of the Premier League and help them in any way, or is it just a case of making those at the top richer and the rest less poor? Well, how do you see it?
No. How the clubs can afford that? Okay. How much money do you think the Nottingham Forest guy have in compared to Qatar?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Like, how much money do you think they have? No, it's. I don't see this benefiting unless there's something we don't know. But I unless they don't know how much money Saudis have, someone need to tap these guys on the shoulder and say, by the way, these guys have so much money. They have way more money than you. It's strange. I don't know why they are thinking like this. I have no idea why they are doing this.
Yeah, it's mad.
To be honest,
It feels
crazy.
to me they just want rid of profit and sustainability, and that's it. And they'll go any
put a
which
salary
way.
cap.
Yeah.
You can put a salary cap. You can put a transfer cap.
Yeah.
I know that people think that the salary cap is going to drive players away. No, you can make it 250 million.
Yeah.
Like Man City, it doesn't have to be 400 million like Manchester City. It can be 300 million. That will make it very fair.
Yeah.
Right? People think. Go ahead.
Do you know the mad thing is more as well, right? Like, if we got PSR, you've got all this stuff, right? Basically, when you look at it and say, right, what are the arguments against it? Well, critics will say that larger clubs, i.e. City, Newcastle, can absorb them costs. They can afford to pay it. Widens the gap. Also, even still with this, you've got a risk of clubs circumventing it. So basically, by creating accounting or structured player contracts differently, like they've done with FFP already, like we've seen with Chelsea, etc., clubs find a loophole. It almost feels now for me that clubs just want rid of PSR. They'll be willing to buy into anything, and then we'll just kick the can down the road, and in 3 years time something will happen. They'll all be going, it needs changing again, it needs changing. For me, if you've got a rule, stick to it. Fucking stick to the rule, like, because it's not fair otherwise. And like you've said, we're just creating this constant merry-go-round, man. And it almost feels like we're getting punished. So, quickly, how can we change this so that we're not getting punished? That's how it feels to me, man. And it doesn't look like it's going to work to me.
This is something that they are absolutely like. I have no idea. There are many ways to fix this. FFP was made to not get clubs bankrupt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think it's done the wrong way. I think there had to be a way. Listen, clubs don't make that much money. Like people think that clubs make a
No.
lot of money. They just don't. But look at how much Brighton, 200 million. I believe that if 200 million is your turnover, is your turnaround, is the money you spend, your budget a year, just put 200 million in the bank as a bond. If the owner decides to sell, this money is taken away from the owner, right? From the sale, so it will run the club. There are ways to do it. I actually believe they're doing this the wrong way, completely the wrong way, in my
100%.
opinion. And I don't know why they're doing it. I believe actually that the reason behind it is they don't want to punish Man City and Chelsea. This is the underlying reason.
Could be.
And by the way, the Premier League clubs, I know that people think this is business, people. I know that people think that yes, Liverpool, us as fans, we want to kick us as fans, like people like Liverpool fans, they want to kick Manchester City out. But if you talk to reasonably to someone, they will tell you Liverpool benefit from Manchester City being there financially. By the way, Liverpool benefit. Imagine if it's Liverpool only. Let me just paint a picture in your head. Imagine if it's Manchester City only, and the rest of the teams cannot compete. Would the Premier League be attractive as now? It wouldn't.
It
wouldn't. It wouldn't be as attractive as now.
Yeah.
The competition makes the Premier League viewership go higher. That means the money. It's just simple, and I believe it's just common sense that people sometimes don't have. In my opinion, some people they think that yes, kick Chelsea and Manchester City out. So think about it from that perspective. What if we kick Arsenal, Manchester City, and Chelsea out, and the league becomes top 3 or top 2, Liverpool and Manchester United and Spurs who don't win trophies, and the rest of the Premier League? Would that Premier League be good?
I think eventually it would, because obviously, like City and all them, their players would have to be sold and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, but there's no money. There is no. What I mean, the infrastructure and all of this, it will take years. It will take 10 years to build back the competition again. And by that, the Italian league and the La Liga, like I think it will be so much tougher to rebuild again. It took years to build this, to build this brand. The Premier League reform happened in '92, and I lived in Saudi Arabia at that time with my parents until I moved to Egypt in the '90s, in the mid '90s. By the way, guys, when people wanted to buy a league to show on TV in the Middle East, some big company bought the Premier League, and I started watching it. That was started in 2003, 2004. Before that, people think the '90s, people used to watch, nobody used to watch the Premier League around the world. It used to be some countries. The Premier League wasn't, they started the brand, yes, but it took time. It took absolute time for them to build the brand. I believe the Premier League brand that we see now started about 2006, 2007. The year Manchester United and Chelsea reached the Champions League final in 2008, that is the year that the world and the whole world started saying, well, this is the best league in the world. This is the best league in the world. Breaking news, Neil Warnock. Who cares if Neil Warnock is officially
I
retired?
don't, bro. I don't. Yeah, listen, more. I know you've got a show to do, so I'm going to let you dip, mate.
Yes.
And I'll put the redirect on. But thank you very much for jumping
Appreciate you, Joe.
No
Thank you
worries.
so much.
And I'll see you in a bit, bro.
See you, bro. See you.
Bye. There you go. There's more. We'll have a little chinwag before he dips. What I do want to do, I'm just going to speak to Tom Sykes for a second. Tom, I know you're here. Wanted to ask, yeah, I've seen a lot of your comments and responded to a number of them as well, bro. I don't know why you have this bee in your bonnet. Even if I didn't, I don't know what it matters. But yes, I still have a season ticket, Tom. I will keep my season ticket because of the waiting list. My little boy is also on the waiting list so that when he gets to a certain age, we can go together. But currently, YouTube is my job. This is my only job. So it's more beneficial for me to not go to the games currently. Plus, I feel that I provide a service to people that watch that that can rely on my watch-alongs and stuff like that. But yeah, I get it. There's this thing that if you don't go to a ground, oh, you're less of a fan or whatever. There is fans all over the world. It shouldn't really matter. But I know that it matters to you because I've seen you comment about 5 or 6 times now asking me, do I ever go to games? Yes, I am a season ticket holder. Have been for over a decade. It was only last season was the first season that I didn't go. Last season. And then I've continued it this season because this is my job. This is what I do full time. So yeah, I hope that answers your question because you just keep commenting and commenting, and I've actually replied to you, but it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Yeah, I know it's no beat. I'm just responding to you to let you know. Dawn, I'm not going to the game. I would feel almost like a glory supporter. Like just going to the game for that. But what I am going to do, I already have a hotel booked. So as soon as the game's finished, as soon as my watch-along's finished, me and my partner are jumping in the car. We're going to Leeds. We're staying in a hotel. I'm going straight to Millennium Square, and I'm celebrating promotion back to the Premier League. That's indeed if we do get there. That's indeed if we do get there. Yeah, man. So there you go. Yes, general admission, Segundo. Yes, it goes back to the to the football club. There's a new rule now as well with Leeds United. If you don't sell it back to the club, you'll have it taken off you. Oh, you've never asked. Oh, it may be someone else then. Because someone else kept putting stuff like, this guy's never seen Ellen Road in his life and stuff. And I'm like, what are you on about? Like, I've been there. I've been there when there were 7,000 people for Blackburn in the midweek. I'll never forget that. 7,000. You know, I've been there. I've been when League One. So it really pisses me off, but it's a stick to, and I'm not having to go at you here, Tom. I'm just saying, like, it really pisses me off sometimes when people use it as a stick to beat content creators with. It's like I've been there. If anything, I'm being poor to myself because we're actually good now. And I'm not going. I was going when we were shit. Midweek, travelling from Sunderland. I'll never forget, we played Blackburn in the league and then in the cup we played them. And I would go to cup games. And I went to the EFL Cup game as well, and there were 7,000 people there. Think about that now. For those that are going now that weren't going before. 7,000 in that stadium. Now there's 36, 37. Do you know what I mean? So 30,000 people less, and I was there. So like it's wild. But I get it. It's a stick with which to beat you with. Yeah, it mustn't have been you, Tom. My apologies then. But I hope the guy who keeps commenting, because it's the same thing, that he's watching this now. Because I've responded to him and he's not responded. It shouldn't really annoy me, but it does, man. Because it's like, come on, man, I've been there. I've done that. I've worn the T-shirt. Why are you bothered anyway? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope that's a big enough explanation for folks. Listen, folks, I'll be back with you soon anyway. I wanted to react to this. You know, I'm trying to diversify content, as you know, speak about, you know, all that other stuff. What does that mean, Vega? Why gatekeep, though? What does that mean? Why gatekeep? What does that mean? What does it mean? I don't know what that means. Is that bad? Dave, I wish, bro. No, I don't know what gatekeep means, bro. Is that a bad thing or not? Tell me, Vega. Are you saying, like, why keep my season ticket if I'm not going? Because there will come a time when I'm not doing this, and like I said, oh, right, okay. Yeah, nah, I hear you, Vega. I never get it either. Because that person who said to me, this guy's never seen Ellen Road, it's like, there's people who physically can't get to Ellen Road, who are in different countries. I'm like you, Vega. This is pointless. Do you know what, Paul? I had my first driving lesson back after 2 years today. 10 minutes, I was flying. I was flying. So he said to me, already next lesson, which is Tuesday, we're going straight to test route. So I reckon I'll be driving soon, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. I can't lie. Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait. Listen, and then I'll be going to Leeds. I'll be in the city centre interviewing people, and that's my plan anyway. But we'll speak soon anyway, because we will be reacting to Daniel Farke's press conference, where we'll find out if Gruyev's going to make it. Will he or won't he? For me, we need to. I agree with you. This is true, Vega. There should not be no elitism at all. Anyway, yeah. I will see you in a bit. Not long anyway. So peace up, A-Town, as Lil Jon would say. And I'll see you in a bit. Bye bye. See you in 2.